Good morning, everyone. Today's Friday. It is June the 7th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We have employment numbers on the horizon. Could mean a variety of things for interest rates. The ECB has already, that's the European Central Bank, they've already lowered rates by 0.25%. The Bank of Canada did it the day before. And now, as we are part of the G7, do we follow suit? Now, I don't think we're going to do anything this next meeting next week, but it depends on the jobs number. I think this could be a very big jobs number. It could really move the market if it is unusual. All right. So yesterday I said, listen, it is still by the dip, and look at where it came in, 53.45. I still think that is a really good number. Where is the breakaway? Well, the breakaway is above 53.74. The question is, why would traders engage in this breakaway formation? Why would they do it? And my thought is that it would really be stop running. So any kind of big move like that is going to look like this. It's going to look like a wick. We are very far from the 14 EMA. That doesn't mean we can't continue further, but with minimum momentum events, that means it's probably more likely that it fades rather than it continues to the north. So the most likely thing for me is a blow off top that gives us a rejection zone, and that could be 53.94. It could be 54.10. I don't really think it's going to be 54.10, but the loss, if it blows out and then it comes back and it loses 53.74, that's going to be a beautiful short. Very likely into 53.45 and then back to 53.13 potentially. Let's look at the Associated SPY. Formation looks a fair bit different, really. This is a solid breakaway above prior highs and holding. Well, it's not really that different, is it? It's sitting here close to highs. All right, and so where is the breakaway? Above 535 and some change. We get to 538, and then 540, 545, the round numbers, the midpoint numbers in that space. And the pullbacks are buy zones. Now, notice yesterday I did not get the number very well. It came into, what was the low? 52.68. I had it almost $1 lower, right? So I'm going to shift it up to an even 532. Right? And so if it's 532.68 and you see it coming into that number, it's probably a buy the dip. We aren't that far away from the moving average, but momentum is lower. And so it very likely, if it rockets up, it's going to be a sell the bounce event. All right? I would wait for it to collapse and then continue forward. The price action should bring more sellers underneath 534. Even, and 533.98. Floors remain this 532, and you know what? I could lift the 528 number into maybe 529. Heavy congestion over here. Let's go see where it's at. 529.07, right? Thereabouts. So that's really what we're looking at. Everything is still by the dip. Let's take a look at the NQ. NQ. Running off the rail. We've got a big thing at GameStop. Everybody's talking about GameStop. Last night, it looks like it went to, 65.70 and then is collapsing. It had terrible earnings. I mean, this is a stock that's being absolutely gamed, which, no pun intended, but I don't know. Just a good place to lose money unless you really understand psychology and price action. And you're there to, really hurt John Q. Public, who's trying to get in on that. All right, so let's take a look at the NQ. Look at how shallow the fade was. It came into the tick at around 19,000 and the 20-ish area. I'm going to draw another line there. Actually, no, I'm going to borrow this line. Forgive my sniffles. Allergies all over the place. 19,026, okay? So pullbacks are buy zones. That's a very shallow pullback. Everybody knows that NVIDIA is running the show here, right? You can look at the Qs and look at NVIDIA, and they are tracking exactly the same. And people are buying the dip. Today is the day the last day to own the stock before the 10-to-1 split. And so, we'll see what happens. A lot of people are calling 1400 as the next upward slant. We'll see what happens there. All right. So if that is the case, the Qs are going to run higher. And if they run higher into the breakaway, where are we looking at? 250, 19,250, 19,248 with a fade action event likely there, pulling back into the 19,125, 19,150, something like that. Fridays are normally trend days. So if we jam up into this area and fade and we bring in higher lows and we don't break the high of yesterday, this is going to be another big rally to the north. Pullbacks, going to be buy zones. Yesterday it was 19,026. Is it going to be 18,949? I don't know. Could be. We'll see, right? My thought is buy the dips pretty far away from that moving average with damp momentum. So something's about to happen. I just don't know what, right? So pay attention to the price. If we lose the pre-market low, sellers are going to get much more aggressive and pull us into those lower areas below 19,000. All right, let's take a look at the Qs. Old resistance, new support. Let's see if it came into the wick. Nope, it didn't. 461.54 is the high wick here. Didn't even pull in there, of course. Looks just like the NVIDIA chart. If you don't believe me, there you go. Same sort of thing. A little bit more volatility on the edge, but not that much. All right, so let's get back to it. I definitely would not be betting against NVIDIA. I just not sure if I'd be going out and buying straight out calls right now. I do own some butterflies way in the future. We can talk about that today on the midday report. Looking at the Qs, we've got, all right, where did I put that number? Looking at the Qs, we have this 464 area, that is congestion. We're inside of yesterday's range. And so 830 is probably going to change that. Where could we go? 469.05. Who could we meet there? Sellers. Shallow dips mean more buy. Shorts on the run. The loss of the overnight low is going to push us back into the low wicks around 462 and some change. And this is the 50% marker of this very big candlestick formation, and that's 459.50. So that's what I'm looking at. It is a buy the dip formation. Nothing has changed there. Let's talk about something that is sitting in a space where it could resume more aggressive buy the dips. Remember my commentary yesterday. I said, what is the trend? It's negative. What is momentum? It's negative, but also flattening. When you have negative trend and you have negative momentum, that's also flattening. You need to look at what's happening with the lows. And if they keep making higher lows, it's going to try to push off the top. But that top is also going to be a sell zone. Just like clockwork yesterday, where did we go? Right up into this area near, what is the high there? 39,092. I had 39,105. And it faded. All right. Yesterday, when this chart opened, it was just doing very poorly. But have a gander at where it held. Take a look at this. It's just amazing. See the congestion? Congestion, congestion, congestion. Breakout, retest of the line, old resistance, new support. This thing can do one of two things. It can crest higher because it's rotating around, or it can pull lower and bounce at support. Now, is there a chance that it could roll over and not bounce at support? Absolutely. Trend is down. Momentum is down. The wicks are fairly large. Inside candlestick formation says, listen, if I'm below the close of the prior day, sellers are going to try and step on the buyer's necks. And so this 38,825 is there, and then 38,739. Although my thought is if it leaves 38,825, coming back into 38,630, absolutely not out of the question. Very heavy congestion. Could this line over here actually give us what we're looking for? And that's 38,800. All right? So watch for that. Supremely important. Is it a buy the dip formation? Yes. However, the dip in this case, because I believe it's hit its terminal point in the near term, you have to pull back and see what 38,637 looks like. Okay? Could be lower. All right, let's take a look at oil. I don't know which contract this one is in. All the same. Bouncing very nicely. We'll look at 1 and 2. Bouncing very nicely. What is trend? Down. What is momentum? Down, but flattening. So what do? Okay, I'm going to look for the higher lows. And if that's happening, it is a buy the dip into the terminal zone near 77, right? If you're trading that contract. If we're looking at this one, oh, it's the same. Oh, no, this one's 76. So this might actually be where we're at. Same sort of thing, though, folks. What is the trend? Down. What is momentum? Down but flattening. Okay, that means that I probably have higher lows. And if I have higher lows, I'm going to a terminal point. Very likely that terminal point is going to be old support that is now new resistance. Notice how wicky it is, though. That could take us all the way into 77.24 before price action collapses, or we could collapse right here at 76. So what do you want to do? Collapse down into a smaller time frame, watch for the failure to head higher, then the break of support, and then a bounce to show you a lower high in trend. That's all you do. And that's going to give you more rotation down. I think it takes us back to 72, 100%. If it loses that area, I can't say 100%. What am I thinking? Very likely that we head back into the 73 and 72 area. All right? Last thing, gold. Everybody's talking about gold. Monster fade. Look at this support zone. Look at all the days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 days of testing. Absolute fade off of this 82 area. Where's the buy zone? You know what? For me, I love 23.36 in this one contract. If we look at the rollover, and also the indices are getting ready to roll over, same thing, 23.32 for that one. Great thing about Top Step X is that you never have to wonder about which contract you're sitting in. That they automatically roll for us, so we never have to worry about that. Okay, so buy zones on the dip for gold. Most definitely buy zones on the dip. Look at the bigger formation. Even though this crested higher and then has broken down, higher low, higher high, higher high. This is a formation that is moving to the north. No doubt about it. All right, so there you have it. Good luck trading today, and I'll see you on the platforms, folks. Looking forward to it.